Alrighty, welcome. That was a good holiday music. Played us in. I'm Brian Kellison. This is the Spincast Cycling Show. Casey Shum, Brian White, Lisa Vries, all four here on time. Festive. It's leading into the holiday season. Well, it's been the holiday season, but so I'm going to spring this on these guys. We're going to get into some topics. Pretty much keep it tight on the time frame. People have some hard outs. Festive 500 is coming. Anyone doing it? Anyone considering it? Is it still a thing?
I consider it every single year, but this year I haven't ridden my bike in a month, so I'm out. I basically am giving up till January.
I'll tell you one thing I am doing. I don't care about the Rafa 500 except for the Jersey Unlock, which you can do one ride and get the kit. But it's the MyWhoosh 300 where you get the gems. That's what I'm doing.
Wait, what? Okay, this is a good lead-in. That was my secret. Hey, is anyone doing Festive 500? Because that always comes up around this time of year.
Yeah.
I don't even know when it starts. I know it occurs between Christmas and New Year's, something, right? I think I've done it once. I didn't even know I did it, but I got the little badge, and then I never asked to get the badge, like the real one mailed to me, because I don't care. But it's isn't it Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve?
The MyWhoosh one's the 25th through the 1st.
Okay.
That's the one I just looked it up today.
Is it GMT plus 4 or whatever it is? Like, how do we know what day it is?
Who knows?
All right.
There's going to be in-game kind of banner, they said.
Okay, so
like or some progress
so
bar
this
or
is
something.
an in-game. Let's get into it. We're going to talk MyWhoosh a lot today. Pretty much predominantly MyWhoosh because they've had a lot of stuff. But you're saying you do a in-game thing, you will get stuff to be used in the game.
Correct.
Not is gold or gems? Which one's worth more? I forgot which one's worth more.
Gems are real money. Like you have to pay real
actual
money to get them.
Okay.
So if you do the 300, right, you earn enough to do the next season pass for free. So the Japan season pass, whatever, will be free if you do the 300.
If 300 kilometers between first or 25 and the first of the year.
Yeah. What's that, like $10, Brian? Something like that.
It was $10 US.
You can use that what you've won to buy. Oh, that's cool.
And they actually are advertising it that way, I think, in the writing, because I looked it up today. It actually says, you get X number for achieving this, and in quotes it says this is enough to pay for the next season pass.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so is this, I know I'm going to bring up a touchy subject. Is this early access or exclusivity of the new whatever thing you guys are talking about, that we're going to be talking about, which is the Japan world, right? So I know Brian's pet peeve. Sometimes you don't sometimes read the fine print as much. You're like, oh, this is it. And first, like, early access is not exclusivity.
Well, what I got mad about is you paid for the early access. So like,
which is
and then
kind of what
away.
everything is.
Right. So then when they took it away, I got angry. So like if you're paying for the early access,
you wanted early access to last across their
access.
Infrastructure, which is some worlds go offline for a little bit because they don't want to spool up a server. You as a paying customer want it on all the time.
Right. 100% of the time.
So you want the entire catalog of Netflix to exist for you because you are paying. You don't want things to go away.
Well, okay. So here they're telling me, like whatever it was, October 15th, this goes away. That's fine. So from August, whatever the season pass was. So say August 15th to, November 15th. That's period of time when I paid for the season pass. I want it 100% of the time.
Okay.
Don't take it away. Now, when it gets to the end of that, fine.
No.
And that's what they ended up doing, right? Like they made a mistake early on. They made a mistake and something went offline for like a half a day. And we were upset about it because we thought it was a scheduled thing, because that's what it said. It said it was a scheduled, it's not.
So the communication.
But it was actually the server was down. So it ended up not being.
It was routine maintenance. They didn't inform us of routine maintenance.
But the message said it was not a scheduled day.
And I think what had happened is they already had the artwork for once it goes into rotation to be available XY days. And that's what you saw. It was like, it's available, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm like, what the hell? So that's where I get irritated. But yes, I don't care. And actually, as much as MyWhoosh is awesome, and we're in MyWhoosh world over my shoulder right here, which is phenomenal, but it's so stinking hilly. I don't like riding there if I'm just doing a chill zone 2 ride.
It's a lot of ups and downs, yeah.
Yeah. Which the Japan is supposed to be more flat. It's supposed to be not as bumpy, supposedly. But we got Mount Fuji that's like really steep. And
didn't we get Mount Fuji in another game?
We can see it. You got the visual.
All right.
It's there.
Just making sure. Just making sure. I chimed in on the Discord, our Discord. Welcome everyone that's listening. That is an active member on the Discord. You were frustrated with another installer that installs from zero.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, you have to update it. And I'm like, and I had to clarify. I was like, you're mad at a clean install, and you're like, it has to be updated. I'm like, everything has to be installed, and then it has to be updated. Like you add patches, right?
I disagree with you because I installed 3 games.
Okay.
Fortnite, 4 games. Fortnite, MyWhoosh, this Idle Champion Dungeon Dragon game that I play, and Zwift.
Yeah.
Fortnite, MyWhoosh, and then the Idle Champions came to the current version.
They didn't apply patches.
Right off the rip,
from
the download from there.
You watched you downloaded it and installed it, and then you launched it, and it went right into the game. It didn't apply any patches?
There was nothing. When you download MyWhoosh, you downloaded 3.9. When you download Zwift, it's 0.00. And then you have to update for 3 hours. Because why? That's what I'm saying. Like from the site, you're getting the original version.
Okay, so the heavy lifting is on the rate. It's just the way that they distribute their update. So like you can MyWhoosh makes you download 12 gigs. You're downloading 12 gigs. Zwift makes you download 100 megs, and then you have to then go to their server and download 12 gigs.
Right. It's just a different way of applying it.
It's like installing you kind of install a blank, and when you
I
click
did that
on
with
the blank,
Magic.
yeah.
I have Magic the Gathering. You download their little installer. It takes 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden it's like 15 minutes to download every single asset from the game. So I understand your frustration, but that's just kind of how it goes. I was just like, why are you upset that there's a clean install and you have to start from nothing? There's nothing installed there on a clean install.
Well, it was just like I was taking the file from their site, and it was like the base file, like the original.
You're like, I want to download 100 megs and then install it on the back end, where everyone gets mad when they have to download from the Microsoft Store for MyWhoosh, and it's a 12 gig install or download and then install, right, or whatever the hell it is.
So
it takes a long time. No, hold on a second. Whoa, hold on. If you download MyWhoosh, you still have to log into their servers, and they have to pull all the assets.
So because people said that, I see that complaint. I actually looked at it. When I did it right now, I actually paid attention. It was a 380 megabyte download for MyWhoosh, just like the non-HD version, just for the regular plain Jane. 380 megabytes. And then when I logged in, I had I think it was just about 1 gigabyte to download, and my service is pretty good, so it was like 12 minutes for the whole install process of MyWhoosh.
So Fortnite doesn't do that, and the other games you don't do that.
Well, Fortnite took a while because it was 67 gigabytes to download. You know what I mean?
Then you just contradicted what you said at the beginning. You're like, no, I did Fortnite, I did all these other games, and I downloaded them, and they just worked right off the bat. No, you have to pull it from their server. You have to pull assets from their server. We're getting in the way in the weeds. We should move on. This is not what people want to hear, but you download the thing, you install it, and then we have new stuff. So tell us the new stuff.
The difference was the time. In 12 minutes, I could be riding MyWhoosh. Literally took 2 hours to get to Zwift. That's what I mean.
So to sum that all up, I could care less how long it takes to freshly install Zwift, and I want them to spend 0 time on it. I want them to fix all their thousands of other things before they fix that.
Yeah, that is true.
Agreed.
There's a lot more, but that was just annoying.
Yeah.
But they're good at that.
All right, let's go to it. For
I like how
new UI, we're going to go into
3,000 posts on the Discord. That's the one BK somehow.
I caught up. I was in family. Helping family in San Diego land, and I had when it says like 50 plus new messages, sometimes you just tap that and it goes to the bottom, and that was the one that I saw, or the one that I hadn't looked at in a while. I scroll through. Yes, I just like giving Brian a hard time, and that was an easy win for. I'm complaining having to install. Like, did you have to install Windows updates when you installed that clean install? Yes, you do. Yeah. Oh no, just you have it on one USB stick. You have one install. You don't ever have to ping Windows servers to download it. I know we're going off the rails
when
here.
I got the fresh install media, it was the current version.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Brian wants anything that's not what true traditional patches and downloads are. He wants it just. He doesn't want a chef in the back. He wants just instant.
How quick was the MyWhoosh 3.9 download and all the fantastic things that came along with it this week?
Yeah.
It was pretty quick. Okay. The update was pretty quick.
I actually opened the app and I was like, is it even going to update? And I had to log in before it pulled the update, not on opening the app. It was when I clicked on my name to sign in. But then, it was like 30 seconds and boom, it was back. I was actually surprised. I thought I was going to miss my race.
The big thing that I saw from the news, because I haven't done it yet, is the UI update. Now, is it just UI cosmetics, or is it like good UI stuff?
No, it's mainly like menu stuff, right? It's not like if you went straight to the writing screen, you probably wouldn't notice a difference, Brian. It's just it's the menus, it's how you join events, it's how you find things, it's how you find your friends, it's how you pair your devices. All of that is.
It looked like rounded corners instead of squared off corners.
This wasn't a font change. This was completely redone.
Okay.
Like it feels like a whole different thing.
The icon actually says BLE.
That's fantastic.
LAN.
I always have to look to be like, which one's Amp Plus and which one's BLE? It actually says Amp Plus on the icon. Yeah. Those little things. I was like, this is awesome.
It does look beautiful. But that's actually a minor update compared with all the other news, though. If anyone else watched the MyWhoosh podcast, they had some huge announcements for SRC.
Okay, let's go. Who watched it? I didn't. So you're gonna update me.
All right.
Bullet points.
Yeah.
6 categories.
Yeah, 4 to 6 categories. Went from 4 to 6 for men and women.
We're going to pay the top 10 instead of the top 5. Right now, you'll get top 10.
So we're adding 2 categories. So now it's 5 and 6.
Yes.
Average Joe verified racing. Unbelievable.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, Cat 6.
And what he said, not just the added of the 2 categories, but if you listen to what they said, why they added the 2 categories, I think they had a very fair assessment. Is they said right now, in order to realistically have a shot of winning money against Brian White, I mean, they didn't use Brian's name, but in Cat 4, he said you have to be a 4.0 or a 4.1 rider to realistically expect to get money. And he said Cat 6 is not going to take that to get money. That's why we did this. He said, we had 40 or 50 people joining Cat 4 that weren't going to be able to hit those numbers. And we didn't want to be losing riders because they didn't have a chance. So they wanted to expand the categories. So they knew those people that were at the back were going to get frustrated. Like and to me, that was a big win.
They're diluting their serious racing.
It sounded to me like it was like the people who are competitive now are still going to stay up in 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that big wash of lower levels. They're going to break out into more categories.
This is probably the Zwift and other platforms having to decide: are we going to draw a line in the sand and just cut out our user base to focus on racing is serious, and this is the serious racing, and everybody else has just got to find a group ride to do? Yeah. And then you dilute it even more to go, well, we kind of want those 50 people. Well, when 100 people below the 6th level, are you going to have 7 and 8 and 9? And then you have Zwift racing, in my opinion. Everyone can show up. So it's good for them to have adoption, but I'm just saying that's where you start to it's that fork in the road. You start to veer off like, hey, we want people. And Zwift has people, and MyWhoosh has some people, but there's more of the serious, the Sunday Race Club riders, and the national champions, and the world champion races. And now they're like, well, we want to fork off of that a little bit and go back towards the casual racers to get more people out here and riding around, which is good because they're creating a UI. They're having more worlds. You know, that's what you want. Brian and Lee, I don't know about Casey, but you guys always want new roads. You guys always want new stuff. And they're doing that along with the serious stuff. And so it's a good move for them. I agree with it.
Look at the raw numbers.
About, you know, casual and competitive. You know, yes, they're making new categories, but they're making 2 new categories in a competitive situation. This isn't
that
just
are verified. So are
verified.
5 and 6, you got to jump through the hoops.
Everything.
Same rules.
Jump through the hoops.
Yeah.
And you get money.
And you get money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the one thing we don't know yet. We don't know. I think it's, let's
Are they
say it's
diluting the money?
65,000 a week. 65,000. I don't know if it's the Abu Dhabi dollars or
potentially, if
American.
it swings down,
But still.
you're going to have Cat 6 with guys doing 3.0 in a competitive situation.
And
you know?
like, let's put it this way. Let's say you're in Cat 6 and you win and you get $100. That pays for your gels for the month. You know what I mean?
Like, and I'm okay with them diluting the price pool like that. Like the elites still need to be able to somewhat, you know, make income, right? Like that very top level. But to dilute the rest of it, like I don't know. I'm going to speak for Brian here, but I'm assuming like it's great to make $500 a win, but to make $350 a win and to have 2 more categories and pay out 60 people instead of 20 people, or it's actually 120, right? It's 60 men, 60 women every week,
that's true.
and as individuals, right? Where right now it's 40, right? It's 20 men, 20 women. It's top 5 of 4 categories. That's all you're getting paid out right now. So I mean, your odds go up. How much? Just by sheer numbers.
Yeah, right. I'm for this.
It's great.
Look, no other platform is offering prize money. Right? And Ruby is offering prize? I don't know if anybody else is, right? But my thing is, what was I going to say? Is oh man, I lost my train of thought. But is it? What were you going to say, Lee? You had your finger up, and
I was going to say, not only is it just prize money and 2 new categories, they've also added KOMs and preems for sprints.
Oh, okay. I think we were talking
about that last week. So you could win $10 on a sprint.
Yeah, we don't know what those amounts are, but it all comes down to, and they alluded to this when they were talking through it on the podcast. It's they desire better racing. They said the reason they're paying out to 10 instead of 5 was what they were seeing was a 5-man break would go up the road. Nobody else wanted to race. Right now, there's a reason to race even when there's somebody up the road.
Right, and so I remember what I was going to bring up in addition to more categories, but the counter argument for more categories is we always maybe I said it is like you have to get better. You have to race harder. You have to get better. Yeah. And now they're giving categories for people that probably fall into that sort of like genetic. This is sort of a genetics thing where it's like you can't, or you're a master's racer, like you have to race in the physical ability that you can, instead of like, oh, well, train harder, go harder, like make your heart beat more so you can race in the 4s and beat Brian. And it's just like sometimes that doesn't happen all the time. So it's good. I'm for this, but I was just bringing up the counter argument for, hey, seems like could it be like they're diluting it?
Yeah. If they dilute it, it'll suck a little bit, but hey, I mean, something is better than nothing. Like,
oh, they're trying something. Oh yeah, we want innovation. Like they're innovating. They're like, you know what? We see this. Like we've looked at our data. We're explaining what we've analyzed, and now we're applying it. And it's either going to work out for the better, or it's going to not be good, and we'll change it. I think that's why MyWhoosh is sort of like really trying things, and they're improving their game more. Regardless of the whatever it's free. You don't have to pay.
What they really need
our users are using it, and we're just doing stuff.
One more time zone.
Yeah, the time is still tough.
I know.
That's the one thing they didn't address that I wish they would have.
I would be all over Cat 6 verified racing if it was at even 6:30 in the morning.
I would get off of here and test right now if it was during the daylight. Like because I'm interested in it, but man, that 3 a.m. is tough.
Yeah,
it's tougher for Lee and I.
Yeah,
like,
you guys
ours is like 2 a.m. race. Like, do you go to, like, you stay up till 10, you're like, do I go to sleep?
Like mine's or do I just smack in the middle of my sleep, right? Like, and you guys are similar to that, right? Yours is on the nighttime side of it. Mine's on the morning side of it. But like, at least make it like 5 a.m. Oh,
yeah. So Brian, you get up at 4 and race at 5.
Yeah, my alarm's set at 3:45 a.m.
Okay. So Casey, you were 1 minute. You're 1 hour from
1
that.
hour. Yeah.
We're 3 hours from Brian.
Yeah, you guys are like midnight, 1 a.m., something like that, right?
Yeah, with daylight savings, I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's.
I think these are all great changes because I think this opens up that, you know, the taboo terms, but right, this opens up the casual B racer or maybe even the high C racer to actually think, like, there's a shot at going over there and actually being able to do something and not just be back of the pack. And also, I think there's this thing of if you're watching this and following it and like, oh, I can't compete with Brian and you know, they're only paying out the top 5. If I can't keep up with Brian, there's no point in me even going because I'm not going to make money in Cat 3 or Cat 4. I know I can't do it. Like this gives those people hope because if you can get into minor money in the top 10, like that's reasonable for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think Brian brought this up last week where you were saying that they want you to go hard even though you get dropped. Yeah. So you still have that data going in. Well, you could get dropped and you're like, I'm going from 7th to, if I could catch 6 and 5 are together, I could jump them or get with them and then try to sprint, keep going even up down to 10. That's incentive. Yeah. That's incentive based. So that's very cool. Anything else?
Well, that's exactly like
sorry.
Casey just said. As soon as 5 people go off the front, you shut it down because you're like, I'm not going to make up a 1 minute gap because I'm not in the money. But if they're paying
more
out
dynamic racing, yeah,
if you're paying out till 10 people, places 6 through 10 might go, well, maybe I'll try to bridge, maybe I'll push because you're still going to get $30 or whoever, you know, however how much.
Yeah, this isn't necessarily a game change, but part of what they were talking about and their focus on racing, they are featuring different categories and talking about the results of different categories on their podcast. They don't come on there every week and say this elite won this week. This podcast this week, they were talking about the Cat 4 and it was the 1 week like Brian wasn't on the podium because I was waiting to listen for Brian and he wasn't there. But I mean, they really seem to be embracing the racing culture up and down, not just the elites. And so I think they're going to win a lot of favor from the casual racer for that.
That's a huge thing because I remember the first season of ZRL when they were doing the live commentating. My C team in a team time trial got actual coverage and everyone on my team was like, you were being featured. They were saying your names and we were all super pumped. Couldn't wait to race till next week. You know, that's exactly how you build a community is talking about everybody. It means more almost to like the lower guys who never get any press than it does to like the elite guys who are getting it all the time.
Wait, it's not a live event? Is how you build the community?
A live event, but talk about slow fat people.
Gotcha.
live event in Mount Cora, or however you say it.
Big fan.
But yeah, I really like this. Is just I really like MyWhoosh, and we were talking a little bit on someone's stream earlier this week. I don't remember whose it was, but you know, whenever you open up to ride online, you go to Zwift because that's like where everyone is. But I really enjoy MyWhoosh.
There's other people that don't do Twitch and they're on YouTube.
Yeah, on Twitch. Yeah. Yes, we were on. So I forget whose stream it was on Twitch, but we were talking about it. But like, for you know, to get on here, the worlds are so good, and it's what they're doing with the game. They're actually listening to the community, and the good thing I like is you have people that are being open and honest, from Matt Smithson to Cy Bradley, who's available because he streams and he'll talk, and other people within the space that are involved in the game that are openly able to be contacted and actually part of the community. You know what I mean? They're doing their rides
okay, so let me ask you about the community. Is there a community?
Good transition.
Yeah.
That's where I was just going.
So
I know how to drive a ship. Come on, man. Come on. We've been doing this for a year.
There is a community. It's a little bit different than Zwift's. It's a little bit harder to kind of like, for me, I'll just speak for me. It was a little bit harder to kind of find where to kind of like get your teeth into it and get to it. But there's a community there for sure.
As it grows, will that get a little more natural?
I think it will.
Because I just noticed today, I jumped on and did some chill riding. I jumped into like an endurance ride Sunday afternoon, right? If I go to Zwift, it's crickets, right? Like Zwift is empty Sunday afternoons for me. And I jump on MyWhoosh, I join an endurance ride. There's actually 4 humans there. I was riding like 3.0 at the front with a couple bots. And when I figured out how to find if there are humans, you open up that little microphone thing.
Oh,
and
really?
only the humans will show up in the microphone thing. And there were 4 names there.
Oh.
Those 4 people were in a pack about 5 seconds behind me. So I just dropped back. I rode at like 2.8. They rode behind me. I did the little wave at them, and one of the guys waved back. And we rode together all the way to the end. And then one of the guys followed me on Strava when we got done. And I'm like, okay, this feels like just natural running into people on the road kind of thing. And when they talked about some of the updates, the word community came into that, Brian. That's I was first time I really heard that. They said one of the features that is coming was their most asked feature, which we can get into a little bit. They're already actively testing virtual shifting. The other thing they mentioned was, and I didn't even know this existed till they talked about it. And I'm like, this is cool. They were talking about, and one of them, I think it was Sai, actually said like, this was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had on a bicycle. And it was the cafe ride with Pogacar, right? Like it's not a dude with an icon riding with a little badge over his head that you all follow around. They have a video on him. He's showing on your screen and he's speaking and you can listen to him. And like he was, like they said, when they started the ride, they had like some of his managers in that like they were communicating through to get the questions out of the game to him. And like they said, like 5 minutes in the ride, he's like, guys, I can read my screen. And he just started reading the questions out of chat.
Hey Lee, can you grab the video? Can you find the video? I think it's I think I watched some of the video. There's like a replay of it on Cy Bradley's
that
channel. That
kind of concept of like a live event kind of thing. Yeah. They said they had 300 riders in that. I was like, that is
and he had like
way better
than
a
video. It's like their pro coaching. It's like a pro coaching thing, right?
When they do a coach ride. Peloton. It's like Peloton. You get the live workouts in it, so you have a human.
Peloton. I don't know. Peloton doesn't have a live world. You're saying it's like a conference call where somebody's there and they're presenting the game. Yeah. Peloton is just
so it's like the coach workouts aspect. You know what I mean? It's like you got a person there going through the workout and you're in erg mode. So
okay, I got you.
You're not necessarily like, it's not like Peloton, but it's that in my mindset, it's like Aunt Bev hopping on, hey, here's this workout I'm going to do with.
It's a featured hosted event, like a feature person. And I know Casey says Pogacar or Pogachar.
Pogacar.
Yeah, it's Pogacha. That's how you pronounce it. Like Pogacha. It's Slovenian, right? So he's on screen with the video of the game, right? It's like an overlay. I don't know if they did OBS or that's built in, because the way they do their coaching rides, it's kind of the... No, go ahead.
My understanding, Brian, is it's a video overlay in the game.
Yeah, I believe it's like if you do
if you're in MyWhoosh, he's on your screen. It's like a
live stream. It's a live stream.
Yeah, it's the ultimate goal of what we used to have with RGT, and everyone's asking for it. Can we have in-game chat? Well, this has in-game video and audio. Yeah. When it's done properly, it's really amazing to experience. But when people have their fan blown right into their AirPods and it's like, and you're like, why am I listening to this? That is why we should not have it in-game chat.
It shouldn't be a public thing. It's for the ride leader, right? For the ride leader, because they were talking about doing like weekly rides with like Emma and those people, like having them host these type of things. And I'm like, that's way better than the old other group ride.
That's why people come to our Twitch shows. Yeah. This is essentially in the game. You don't have to go to Twitch. You don't have to go anyplace. And it's you are watching the person riding that you're riding with in the game of the event that you're riding with, instead of just the little chevron or whatever, the little arrows above the rider or the check mark of the pro rider, whoever's doing like when we were in the pandemic and it was come ride with Philippe Gilbert. And it was just like, he was wherever he was, and he had like the highlighted text, barely he would type, or he would check, or somebody would type, and it's just text. That was 2020. How come we don't have that for the community, right? In other platforms, innovating, going, hey, we're doing a group ride and we can ride. Like, people go to do their sort of rider-led stuff, or they want to go ride with us, or ride with people, as in us as the community, because we do a show on Twitch and we have a camera overlay of the game that we're using. Very innovative, but they have that with that. I think they've had that for a while because of the coaching. Like, they have pre-recorded videos. This was a live one.
Yeah, they had the pre-recorded things. Yeah, but it's like they use the same asset, right? The video box now is a live video instead of pre-recorded on those events. I when they started talking about it, I was like, that's a cool concept, and I think that's where you start catering. Our favorite person in the world. That's when you start catering to the Aunt Bev too, right? Like, these are things for the casual rider.
Yeah,
right? They're looking at that.
This is not for the Cat 5 and 6. This is for the community. This is for, when you're saying community, like, Sunday Race Club is once a week.
Yep.
Right? If you're going to have a community, and that's why I asked, is the community there? It's there, but is it there every ride? Like Casey said, hey, yeah, I had 3 or 4 riders. Well, when there's 20 riders, 50 riders, 100 riders, then you'll start to see that sort of like, hey, maybe I'm going to jump into this group ride, or this community race throughout the week.
This race that I got over my shoulder here, it's the elimination race. It was the beta race on Monday.
Okay, yeah.
And Casey was there with me. There was 40-ish people. There was a couple people that didn't leave the start pen, so there may have been 45.
So sign up. Stage 1, 7 climbs or 7 laps. Is that what that? For the audio only audience.
Yes.
On the screen behind Brian, he has the HUD. Top left says elimination beta race, right? So stage 1. There's a little icon for, it looks like climbs or laps. I think that's laps, maybe.
Laps, yeah.
And then 38 riders. So 38 people showed up to this thing. Not bots, right? 38 humans.
All humans, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the first time they've done an elimination race.
Yeah. And it worked fantastic. It was great. Now, there's a couple improvements. They're going to make changes. They took a lot of our feedback. They're going to do it every Monday. And
what time?
It was noon for me. So it'd be 10 a.m. for you?
For me.
Yeah.
Noon, so -2, 10 o'clock for us. Okay.
Yeah.
And I talked to Cy. They're going to do it every Monday, and once they get enough people signed up for it, they're going to do like over 3 watts per kilogram and under, or whatever, 3.5 maybe, whatever the separation will be. They will split it. So that is something they're going to keep progressing. They're going to move the banner up to where it says eliminated, because it blocked pretty much all the riders you couldn't see.
Yeah, but they already said that on the podcast that they were moving that, because that was my biggest thing. I was screaming at the thing, get that thing off, because the banner that tells you how many it's going to eliminate that lap comes up, and it comes up for like 15 seconds, and you can't see the peloton. Like, you can't tell if somebody's attacking, and I'm like, move the dang thing. So they said they've already got that feedback. They're moving it up.
So in 12 hours we can do this.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just throwing. We have people in Australia. It's already tomorrow. So
it's
let's
17
just say,
hours. Whatever it is.
The Spincast cycling show time zone plus 12 hours. You can do this. You can do the beta elimination race, right? What we used to do on RGT, and I used to set those up with Beats, which is Dominic Barnes. I don't know. Remember, Brian used to do it. I think LePage did it once. And then who else would do it with me? Locutus would do it. Some of the community, like the old school community people. But I would set up just to try to get people to show up, just to try to get the community to show up for stuff. People like elimination races, or they want to try something with people, right? Yep. Well, I've ridden a lot of MyWhoosh. I did 1 or 2 Sunday race clubs, and that's the only other time I've ridden with people. I think I might do this tomorrow.
I keep seeing the trend, and this is what was clicking with me. This is a lunchtime ride for me. The OTR veterans that I do on Fridays, that's a MyWhoosh staple, is a lunchtime ride for me. They were talking about on the podcast how they had, it sounds like they had something on Wednesday that was getting pretty popular. And it's like, it came down to the same struggle that we have with Sunday Race Club, right? They have not gained any momentum in North America prime time. Like there's nothing that I've seen that they've talked about that's gaining momentum that is prime
to
time
support it.
Well,
or
there's just
to actually schedule races to do races.
Everything they're talking about and everything they're scheduling is either Europe evening or middle of the night for North America. Like
they don't care about North America.
Yeah, and that's still the struggle, right? Like I work from home, so I can jump onto lunchtime stuff from time to time, and I get my fill there. But the guy that's actually commuting into work, right? Like he's still kind of stuck on MyWhoosh with North America because there's not a lot of riders from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. North America time on MyWhoosh.
Yeah,
and Zwift's short numbers there too, but they at least have enough people that there's people.
Yeah, I think there's people riding, but there's not people doing events.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're trim it, or they considered it. I think we talked a little bit about.
I guess that's not a platform problem then, right? That's an America problem or a North America problem.
Yeah, it's a cycling community. It's a cycling, like Europe is very popular cyclist all across the different time zones, right? For lack of a better instead of country, it's more of like the time zones.
Because us living in North America, we think we are the center of the universe. And for cycling,
really?
100%.
Come on now. Come on.
Well, you guys are all American. You know how it is down there. Rah, wave the flag.
Oh, yeah.
And when it comes to cycling, you got to get up at 3:45 to race.
Yeah. I'm okay with, like, it's frustrating, but I'm okay with the way that they're deciding to do this, because they're like, our audience isn't there yet. We will do it when it's ready. That's why I think that they're like, hey, we've looked at our data. Like they're like, if you're saying they're analyzing data to come up with 2 new categories, they're like, well, we were looking at our data and we wanted to have another time zone. They didn't do that. They were like, well, we just want more people to ride.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I'm seeing from them that is similar to the other platforms is they're talking about these things, but the only thing that is core MyWhoosh seems to be Sunday Race Club, maybe these elimination race beta testing, right? The rest of the stuff they talked about were like club run events on MyWhoosh that were gaining a lot of momentum. But it was an OTR event, or it was this event or that event. So, part of the root, I think, kind of back to what Lee was saying, and part of what we're saying too, part of the root of that is where's our North America organizers? Who's organizing things on that platform for us?
There's no
on the collective us.
Unless it is on the collective us. Are there still like nurtured ride ambassadors in North America? Like who's the Tim Searle? Is that the Australian guy who rode 100,000 miles or something like that, 100,000 kilometers? He would do a weekly ride and ride all the time, and that was like Jarvis Island, or the inception of publicly facing Zwift. That was Australia. Now people sort of like it's like the Forrest Gump of the world, where it's like, hey, I'm just running, and then people just hopped on and it became a cause, like the Team Italy rides, or the Evo, is it EVO or things like that. These, or the dirt rides, they would do it. The ODZ team, the ODZ guy. That became a thing, and they would do RGT rides. They would do Zwift rides. There's something on the community to do it. Is there a bad taste in people's mouths? Like, I don't want to do that for said company anymore. Like, I don't want to sacrifice my personal life to host these rides when it's not beneficial because the participation falls away? Or is it like, because the games don't, or the companies that develop the games are not nurturing those relationships anymore?
Well, I think part of it, I don't know, part of it's finding the right people to do it. I guess if I'm understanding what you're trying to say, right, it's the community, like trying to.
Yeah, I think the community. Well, yeah. Are you asking me what I think, or are you asking me my question? What you're asking, like, why did I pose that question?
Yeah,
I think there's a bad taste in people's
that's
mouths.
what I'm.
But like, if people want to put on a group ride, they should just put on a group ride and be like, I'm doing my group rides on MyWhoosh, and and do whatever you can to talk to MyWhoosh and be like, hey, I'm gonna do this ride. And you do it by yourself for 6 months and try to get as many people to show up and just be like, I'm doing this because I want to do this. And instead of being like, hey, can you help me? And then like you can ask for help and stuff like that. But that's where I'm thinking like people are like, I don't want to jump through the hoops for this
the trend
company that keeps raising the price on me, and it doesn't give me as much incentive as I like to anymore. And I don't like Zwift Racing Score. That's kind of what I think.
The trend seems to be, and I would start to lean this way. I think if I was going to be an organizer, right, it's getting so hard
because
to get publicly involved in something on other platforms that if I wanted to start something, MyWhoosh seems to be a lot more receptive to putting you on a public calendar, supporting a public event, and helping you get things started now. Like, it might be easier to convince your participants to try a new platform than it is to convince the old platform that you're worthy of a spot on their calendar.
And I just thought of this, there's bot rides that are way more popular than anything that anyone can put together that doesn't have a check mark next to their name or a video camera like Pogacha has. It'd be like, hold on. I did start setting up a ride for the Twitch people that were there, and I did have popularity. There was like, I did the Bike Terra because people wanted to try Bike Terra. And then I got busy. I'm not the group ride guy. That's not me. Hold on. People should know that. I did it, and there was like people there. Yeah. But I'm not that guy.
It's all about scheduling and consistency.
It's scheduling and consistency, and I'm not the guy who's like, hey, I have a job that works out. Like, I start this job. My job is all over the place sometimes. And I have personal like family stuff, like family members are getting older and I'm having to help with things like that. Right. And so it's like, I'm not that consistent, but you can do it. It's about you have to have a platform. Like we have this platform and then I have my own personal stuff and I like we're all part of the community. I come in and talk about that stuff. And it was Camden, one of our Canadian contingency was like, hey, if you put on a ride, I'll come to it. That's how it started. Or I asked him, I'm like, why don't you put on a ride? Or I'll ride, and if it's a team thing. Totally cool. And that's where it starts. Those seem like those are tougher to do now.
Yeah. So. Yeah, the general trend just seems to be that they seem to actually, put your money where your mouth is? They're actually responding. They're not saying they're doing things for the community. They're actually handing things out that seem to be what the community's asking for. Because the other part of these updates that we didn't talk about was some of the, the big things in Zwift that everybody loves. If you now that I follow you, Brian Kellison and MyWhoosh, if you're riding, I can click on your name and I can click ride with Brian. Right? That's a new feature.
See, that's good.
I can click on your name. Oh, I don't need the companion app for this. I can click on your name in the riders list and I can click the little chat button and I can send you a private message with my keyboard on the computer. I don't have to pick up my dang phone to send you a private message. Like, amazing. Hallelujah.
That is amazing.
Right.
That is amazing.
So if you're off the front with another rider and your phone fell on the floor, you can still click on that rider's name and you can type in a private message.
Near you. You just click. Okay, so is it you? This is a cool feature. Let's dive into this a little bit.
But you have to be friends with them to do that.
You have to be friends with them.
Can you become friends within a race?
I don't know.
Probably. But
if they're a public profile, you might have to.
Can you become friends with them in the game?
I haven't tried it.
All right, so we're close. We're closer. We're not there yet, but it's at least fine. Hey, I'm not on the same team, Brian White, but we're going to ride together and I'm friends with you. Okay, cool. You can click on and you can do a private message or a group message within the game.
Yep.
You can choose.
You can choose private or group.
Fantastic. Yep. All right. Well, that's a good one. What about go ahead.
No, as I say, you can search. There's a search thing right at the top of the riders nearby list. So I haven't tried it, but I'm assuming you can click up there. Like if Brian's 40 spots behind me, I can type
riding.
In the game riding, there's a search at the top of the riders nearby. And I'm assuming like if I'm in a race with Lee, but I can't see him on my screen, I'm assuming I can type his name in there and it'll pop up and I can message him or something.
That works across events and just free riding?
I haven't clicked in it, but it's there.
Oh, okay.
It's at the top of the riders nearby thing. I'm like, well, what's that? Like I can.
Okay. So
they did say they did mobile app updates too. I haven't.
Yeah, I did see that as well. There's mobile app updates. Brian's checking it in the background. But hey, let's touch on the other topic.
Can I share my screen? If I can, I'll.
Yeah, you can share your screen. Let's do it. But we're gonna. So good. Have the thing up, and because this is gonna go into the thing, we're gonna actually talk about the virtual shifting, which is coming soon. Do you think? Okay, so we're gonna. This is reckless speculation here. So he's going to get up the share the screen and show the actual searching for friends and stuff like that. But do you think it's going to be device, or is it going to be like keyboard? Do you think it's going to be on the mobile, or is it going to be one thing that they're going to be a little virtual shifting? Do they touch on any of that, or what?
I'm going to assume it's going to be key mapping. This is completely speculation, but
oh wow, that's pretty cool. We're looking at the HUD. Go ahead.
Oh wow, that is pretty cool.
Let's hold on. Let's hold on the virtual shifting speculation. For the audio-only audience, it's totally interactive on the rider list. You can click on it. What it does is so you can search. He's searching for Yannick, just a person running, I guess, or it just typed in a name. Okay, so hold on. Don't do anything. Click on Matthias. Okay.
Oh, that was a runner.
Right. Okay.
Our viewers can't see this.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm explaining it. I'm explaining it. So in the audio only audience, in the rider list now, which is one of the new updates for the UI, which is really cool, is the flag of the country of origin. Underneath that is a bike, and underneath it, if it's a cyclist, and a foot or a running shoe, if you are a runner. You click on the name, which is it still looks like the rider list. It highlights it in blue. It gives you two things. It gives you an eyeball icon that says watch. So you go directly to that you click to. And those two choices disappear, which is watch and chat go away. But the rider list is still highlighted. So now it says you are watching Matthias Lemons. Okay, so click on Don De Bruin for me. And go to chat watch. For me. Go to chat for me.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I can. So, I guess I can message him.
You can message directly.
Yeah.
There. So do like a hey Dan, thanks for good, or do great job. Just type great job.
Creeper.
Nice run. Yeah. There. Now click back. How do you go back to yourself? Or far left is return.
Here.
Far left is return.
Replied to you.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet it's a bot. You think it's?
Well, we don't, yeah, Donkeyville. I don't know. We don't know. Click on the little microphone, right?
Let's see.
I don't know. How do you do it? Oh no, you click on the smiley face.
Yo.
Oh, cool. Check out our show. Okay. So go to. You can talk. I don't know. You can keep talking. What I'm trying to explain to the audio only audience or the people that are watching on the stream is, it prompts you for a private message in the center of the screen. For that person. Now, my question is how do you do a group chat, which would probably just be the base chat window? So click on that. Right on. So hit that arrow back. Hit the return. Now hit the main chat window.
All right, right here.
Yeah. So the
global or private.
So then it goes. So if you don't click on a rider and hit the chat, and you just use the default chat little icon button, it'll go global on the left and private on the right.
What happens when you click private? Does
I don't
it come
know.
up with?
Oh yeah, it has your recent. It has your recent private chats.
Conversations.
And this is a free ride, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
And then you can click. There's a little arrow. You can go back. So say I'll
very cool.
I'll message this lady.
People need to interact with it, but what it is, it's actually designed pretty well. I think that's designed really, really well. So you can continually do. You could do like, hey Peloton, let's chase, and then you could private. No,
dude, literally, like this
they have their bots programmed to respond to you.
Wow.
That's great.
But it's cool that you can. It actually remembers your private chats. So I don't know if it's ride only. Like it wouldn't. I hope it flushes out maybe the people you've had private chats, like when you end a ride and start a new ride. But that's pretty cool, having a private in the game that's easily to navigate to, and then also be able to chat the entire group. Now, Brian, go back to yourself. Go back to return. We're going to try this. I want to do the search tool.
They
thing.
must have all the bots on Chat GPT or something.
Yeah, that's like
because those respond way too fast.
They are very fast.
That's why I was just thinking, like, they've got to have AI doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back to you.
Yes.
And if you do a search for Casey Shum.
All right. Since he's not writing.
Okay, so he's not writing. He's not going to see it. So it's not going to search the entire database. It's only searching the current 155 writers or whatever.
Yeah.
So do Dan, DAAN.
Oh.
2 A's.
There
So it finds that person. Okay.
Then here's the other people like DA. So we got Dara, Daniel.
Oh, okay. So it does a live search. It's not you don't need to know the exact name of the person. Well, if you're trying to look for Dan and you type DAN and it's DAAN, you're not going to find that person. But you type D, it will quickly pull all the D's of the first letter, right? And then all the M's, like that's what he's doing right now. So you're getting a list of that. But if you go, hey, I know my buddy Lee, so do LE or L. So L and LE. L is giving you a bunch and LE is giving you one. Yeah. That's cool. That's really,
super cool.
Really good. Wow.
If you're in a race, like Casey was saying, someone in your race, maybe a teammate, he could be out of the rider list. You want to check on them. You type in their first name or start typing their first name. Boom. Oh, he's a minute back. Do we ease up or do we keep going? Like, this is awesome.
See, that could be a good advantage, and it could also be bad because in real racing, you would not be able to talk unless you had radios. I guess we could treat this like radios, because I do amateur racing and there's no radios. But if you're also in the main group, you could be talking to, like you said, you could be talking to somebody that's in a breakaway and giving time checks, right? Or hey, somebody's chasing back, or blah blah blah. I think it can be used. I think, you know what? I'm for all of it. Just keep it open. Like if you want to message somebody.
Well, and I find it like, I don't know if this is good or bad during racing, but Zwift, it's hard to click on a rider because things are moving so fast. But if I want to see where Brian's at or click on Brian, I can just click up there and start typing his name, and he'll come up where he's not moving up and down that list 1,000 times, right? He's easy to find.
All right, I'm not trying to rain on the parade here, the positivity parade, but we're all pretty good people, real nice people. This could be abused in a way. Is there an easy way to sort of like...
That'll be the next thing they need is to
moderate
private,
it or to block people. So let's see if we can block somebody.
Nothing.
Let's see here. No. Go to the writer list. Go to the writer list. Click on the writer list.
Okay. Yeah, I got just.
Yeah, there needs to be or going to chat. Yeah, there needs to be a.
Yeah, like a.
That
Nothing.
might be outside of the game. You'd have to go. Like if you were having issues with somebody, you'd have to block them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see. I think Randy brought that up about she don't want no random dude.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I'm thinking for the ladies out there, because sometimes ladies get private messages that they don't want.
Okay.
And so if you need to have some stronger moderation and stronger tools for people to be able to,
just allow people to opt out of it.
Yeah, right? Opt out of it is another one. Like I turn off global chat on Zwift because I just don't want to hear people talk about whether they went to the bathroom today or whatever. I like talking about it, but I don't think the global chat needs to talk about it.
Yeah.
Being healthy is good. I mean, we talk about it a lot because.
So I think I figured out when I thought you had to be your friend, I was watching one of the live coaching things. And like when I went to click on the chat with, it was the Ed Laverack.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an option. So
maybe you can talk to every bot, but you can't talk to people unless you're friends with them.
Might be real people is the issue.
Yeah, because I think we're just searching for all these bots. Yeah, okay.
We'd have to test. Like I should have tested that in the ride with those guys today. I was riding with them, but I didn't follow any of them. But I know.
Okay, well here let's test that. Okay, I got global chat. Robert. We'll search for Robert.
Go over to your channel microphone. When I click on that channel microphone over on the left, it kind of shows names of who actually is around you. Like I actually had names there, and those were the real people.
Yeah, there's nobody in there.
There's no real people.
All right, let's see.
So
wait, hold on. Hold on. If you click on that microphone, does it show people that might not have a microphone attached to their computer?
I think the microphones shows up for anybody who's a real person who has the
ability. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they don't,
could have a microphone, they don't necessarily do, but they could.
Because there's some computer and devices that don't have microphones built in, and so if it doesn't know through your Windows or whatever platform you're on.
All right.
Okay, we're learning a bunch. This is good. We have
what
5 minutes. We have a hard.
What other updates?
Hard out. Let's get out of this reckless speculation about virtual shifting. How are they going to approach the virtual shifting?
I think it's going to be key mapping, just like was it Indy Velo's doing now. I think it's going to be something simple like that. I don't think they're. I think if you want to use a Swift Play or something like that to do it, it's going to have to be a hacked Swift Play.
Fez wheels on. Fez wheels on. Look at that. Can we?
He's not a real person.
Totally not a real person. And that's totally not him because it has a bike underneath him. He's a runner.
Yeah. But I think the virtual shifting is going to be mappable. I hope it's going to be mappable because then you can just come up with your own device, whether it's a USB set of buttons you program, whatever.
Yeah, but steering already exists, but shifting does not. So keyboard already interacts. Like you can change camera angle, you can move left and right with virtual shifting or virtual steering, positioning, whatever. We're watching Fez. He's dabbing us up. Thanks, Fez. Big fan of the show.
Because I've already seen people say like they're excited for it, even if they have to use the keyboard because they don't have to change their setup from their virtual shifting setup. That they got a Zwift ride or they're running a cog on their trainer and they don't want to swap to a cassette, right? That's their holdback, right? This takes that hurdle away from people. It's a nuisance in my opinion to shift with your keyboard, but it eliminates a barrier for those people that don't want to be swapping bikes.
I was using the virtual gearing on Training Peaks or Indy Velo, now Training Peaks. So virtual gearing. So you're changing the ratios to kind of like fake shifting, and that was kind of working. But I was also shifting along with changing the gearing ratios, right? So I think maybe they're going to come out with their own certified device.
I don't know. The nugget that they said, reading between the lines on the podcast, he said he had already tested it, so it exists. Right. So that leads me to believe it's not that far away. And I want to say he talked about gearing. So it was like you can put in, I've got a 53, gearing, 53 gearing on the front, shifting? 11 speed in the back. Yeah. So like he was talking about, like, I thought he said something about gearing. So just, that's kind of adding into some of the detail. They said virtual shifting, but he said like, I actually tested it like this week. So it's something that exists in somebody's form of the game. Testing.
Well, what do you guys think, Brian? I know Brian keeps messing around with the game. Brian, what do you guys think?
I'm just watching shifting? Brian.
Yeah, we know. I saw
randomly message everyone in the game.
I'm trying to find a.
He's going to be the reason that they have to accelerate the blocking people in the game.
Right,
exactly.
Quit messaging the ladies, please. I'm trying to think if there were any other updates. The virtual shifting, I think, is a big one. We got Japan coming. That's for sure.
Yeah, you had the 6 categories, top 10, money for preems, which is kind of cool, and then virtual shifting, which you touched on.
Brian, this would have been the first thing that he would have brought up. There's new helmets. Yeah. They've got new bikes that they said are coming soon. They're working on them. What else did they say? It was helmets are there now. Bikes are coming. And they said something about, I don't remember what it was, socks or something else headgear. I don't remember what it was. Yeah. No, glasses. That's what it was, glasses.
There's some new stuff coming. I have most of the stuff unlocked, like that you can unlock. I saw, it may have been the OTR, they have team kits. I don't know how you get to unlock that or if it's just for the event. But somewhere, I do know they said they're working on team kits.
Okay. OTR's had a kit in the game for a long time because I had it like in the early days. I had it.
That seems to be like the next phase because what you're saying, and I haven't listened to the podcast, but you're saying the community was a big focus on theirs. They seem to have the racing pretty dialed in. Obviously, they can always be improving the elite racing, but elite racing has sort of slowed from a large audience, except for the national championships are going to start coming next year. Echelon Racing League is going on currently, but besides that and Sunday Race Club, it's now how do we build just a regular day-to-day audience? Virtual shifting's one of them. Yeah. Obviously, cosmetics are a big thing. You know, the XP is already there, and if the season pass is coming, if a new season pass is coming with new incentives to do, and then new world, it seems like they're looking pretty good. What's going into 2025? A little tidbit
on Japan is it's not going to be as climby. There will be Mount Fuji, which is dumb. I don't want to race SRC on it, but whatever. And there's going to be a couple crit courses. So this may be more of I'm going to try to more of just a chill riding. And I'm saying this as going California and MyWhoosh world, where every 3 to 5, 6 kilometers you're in a complete different environment, and if it's not as flat, it's going to be excellent just to ride around and enjoy it. If it's not as climbing as
you just don't want to do a race with climb. You want to keep winning. You're like a sandbagger.
Well, he did say that he was looking. Winning. He said on Sunday Race Club he was looking for ways to make the racing not always be so dependent on raw watts per kilo. And I read between the lines on that, and they're going to have more flatter, punchier courses that are going to be about sprinting and matchbooks, not about 5+ minute power hitting those hills.
All right.
I think that's a good. Not every race has to be that way, but you need one a month that's not required to have a big 5, 6, 7 minute effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You just don't want to do a climb at the end of the race. You want to ride away with your 1 minute power and hold it off.
Win in Colombia. Come on, it finishes with a 13-kilometer climb.
Can't you just race everything and enjoy it, Brian? You just want
to. So all of this is great. Right, MyWhoosh is doing a lot of great things here. This has been a lot of positive about MyWhoosh, right? Mm-hmm, doing good things, making big moves, foot on the gas on racing, even though they're kind of ahead of the game on racing right now anyway, right? They kind of
they're not
been
slowing
pushing.
down. Yeah, they're still pushing.
So what do we hate about them? What are we going to rip them into? What are they missing? What are they sucking at right now?
Animations are still horrible.
Animations.
That's a good one, Lee.
There's still workout bugs. There's still the workout issues. People's ride will crash while they're doing workouts, and you can't get custom workouts easily in. I can't just drop the ZWO file or whatever file into just a generic MyWhoosh workout folder and get it in game. So that's a big issue. Supposedly they're working on a builder for that, but you can build it in the game. You can build it within Training Peaks, but that's just, if I already have 300 workouts built, I don't want to go redo all this.
In a pretty standard format. Yeah, it's just, the ZWO file is just an HTML file. It's pretty simple. Yeah. I don't have any big complaints. I was just kind of curious, all this, I think these are all smart moves. I feel like they're doing good things. They're doing a lot of good things quickly. All this stuff we talked about, over half of it, they're saying January, we're talking a week or two away, or it's already there.
Well, can we look at the game with the way it was last December 22nd?
Oh my gosh, the 4-second lag in power.
Game, no, but
it was unraceable.
It didn't even look like this.
It was terrible.
I don't think the game looks like this, or wherever it is on screen, or behind Brian. But I think the graphics came out in the graphic update came out in May or something.
This is even MyWhoosh. This isn't MyWhoosh HD behind me.
Yeah, this is regular MyWhoosh.
Yeah, because MyWhoosh HD for some reason crashes when I enter UCI worlds. I can't get into UCI worlds unless I use my laptop. So this
they need to fix that. There's a negative. You need to fix that.
This uses damn good in just regular dumbed down MyWhoosh.
I think general stability. You still hear some stability, crashing, Bluetooth, buggy, beta stuff going on.
Yeah, but that's every game. But not any I agree with you. There's no overwhelming issue that's sort of hey, when they announce something, it's great. Nobody asked for this. It's
Yeah.
Hey, this is great, and we kind of like all the stuff. That's a different experience that we're having.
I went to it today and wrote it because I was curious. Because I'm
gonna try to write this elimination thing tomorrow. I'm gonna try this thing. Yeah.
I liked some of the updates they did, so I was like, I'm gonna go write it today, see what it feels like.
I still need to do my power passport and then race the echelon racing thing.
This is my biggest complaint, just about like the community. You go to MyWhoosh's website, it says events, and it just says we have these type of events, this type of event. There's not a list of the events. You got to go into the app, which, as Niall said, sucks. It's a little
yeah.
And then I got to go into the game. I want to go to a website, go to 3 days from now, be like, hey, there's this race here. All right, I'll do that. Instead, I think I was thinking about it. I think that's part of the reason. Like within Zwift, it's like, oh, okay, hey, I know this day I can ride at this time. Let's see if I got an event. Oh, look, here's this 60-kilometer race. I'll do that.
Right.
Well, it's harder to find that in MyWhoosh. I think that's
I think we're nitpicking, or that's like yes, because like I brought this up maybe a show or two ago about how when the market leader, which is Zwift, has created this sort of thing from scratch, or they've innovated in a way to like, hey, this is what we're doing, so we know what it's like. And then somebody tries MyWhoosh and they have all of these preconceived notions of like what they got from that experience. When the experience didn't exist, you give it a much more leeway than when you have, I can compare it to something that already existed. These little jumping through the hoops to find the event. I don't even know if in-game chat to private message somebody, the way you just did it and the way we watched it happen, that is just like, I'll jump through a hoop to find an event, because that is that's a huge win for just interacting with riders when they are in there. Yeah. If the people are there, great, I can interact with them. You were interacting with bots and they were actually more engaging and private messaging a bot. You could have had you could have the feature there and not even work. So
what was key is it took us a few minutes to figure out what we actually were annoyed about, because it really wasn't. They're not that big of deals, but
it's okay,
and they'll work on them.
Okay, improve the. You can message somebody and search for a rider. You can search for a rider from the game. You don't have to go to a website and go to your phone and do all these things. I would like that I can search for somebody on the web. How hard is it to even search for somebody on Zwift Power, which isn't even in the game? It's kind of hard. You have to go to riders, something. It's like, it's overwhelming. It's like a huge data. Yeah. We know how to do it because we struggled to do it. Yeah. It's not hard. You just did a online demo of MyWhoosh chat, a global chat, direct chat, searching for people. And it wasn't you jumping through a bunch of hoops. You clicked on the name, then you clicked chat.
Yeah.
And it worked.
we're at that wrap up time.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it.
But I don't think anybody won the competition of how long before Brian White mentions that he won Sunday Race Club yesterday. So congratulations, Brian. It was a heck of a race.
There was an over-under in chat.
Yeah, there was an over-under.
Well, he just wants to keep winning, so that's why he's sandbagging this. Congratulations, Brian.
And everybody needs to
wake up at 3:45.
Everybody needs to make up their own festive number, right? Ride the bike this week. Make up your number.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 300, 500. Find your number.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's going to be exciting is this week I work like Monday to Sunday. I work 76 hours and I got to find time to ride 300 kilometers.
I don't have to go back to work till the 6th.
Yeah. That's going to be amazing.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be working right after this. So on that note, we're going to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. And Boxing Day, wherever that happens. That's the 26th, right? Tomorrow is Festivus, and my wedding anniversary is tomorrow. So, I got married on the 23rd. Okay. That's it. Let's play the music. Lee, that's really play the music. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to start waving. Thanks, everyone. Have a good break, holiday. If you're working,
see you
enjoy
guys.
it.